If you're thinking about moving to Greensboro, North Carolina in 2026, or even just trying to figure out if it's worth it, this is the conversation you need to hear before you make that decision. I'm going to walk you through the real pros and cons of living here, the stuff that actually affects your day-to-day life, your money, and your overall quality of living. So you can decide if Greensboro is the right move for you, not just a good idea on paper. Now imagine this for a second. You wake up on a Saturday morning, no alarm, no rush, no pressure. You're not already stressed out about the traffic or trying to figure out how you're going to squeeze 5 errands into 2 hours. That right there is one of the biggest things that people notice when they move to Greensboro. The pace of life is just different. It gives you room to breathe. And for a lot of folks, especially if you're coming from a larger city, that shift alone can feel like a weight has been lifted. And that slower pace connects directly to one of the biggest advantages that Greensboro still has right now, which is affordability. In 2026, when so many markets across the country have gotten out of reach for everyday buyers, Greensboro is still holding on to a space where you can actually buy a home and not feel like you're signing your life away to a mortgage. You can get into something with real space, maybe even a yard, in a neighborhood that feels established without needing to be in the top 5% of earners. My name is Keon Shoulars with REAL Broker LLC. I live here, I work here, I help people buy and sell homes right here in the Triad. And I'm not here just to sell you a dream. I'm here to give you the full picture so you can make the right decision for you and your family. So whether you're making a move in 9 days or 9 months, feel free to reach out. I'm receiving calls and texts every day and I love it. My contact information is in the description box and I'm easy to reach. But let's keep it real, because I always want you to have the full picture. While Greensboro is still affordable compared to a lot of places, it's not frozen in time. Prices are still moving up. More people are discovering it, more investors are paying attention, and that window of, wow, this is really cheap, is slowly starting to close. So if you've been thinking about waiting for a few more years, just know that those same homes that you're looking at today might not be priced the same way tomorrow. Another thing that really stands out here is the location. Greensboro sits in a spot that gives you options without making you feel stuck. You're not isolated. If you want to spend a day in Charlotte, you can do that without it feeling like a full road trip. If you've got connections in the Triangle, the Raleigh-Durham area, that's within reach too. And if you're the kind of person that likes to switch up your environment, you can be in the mountains or headed to the coast without planning some big production around it. That kind of flexibility matters more than what people realize, especially after you've been here for a while. And while we're talking about convenience, we've got to touch on traffic, because that's always one of the first questions that people ask. Compared to the major cities, Greensboro is still manageable. You're not spending your mornings and evenings locked into bumper-to-bumper traffic, wondering where the day went. You can actually get where you need to go without building your whole schedule around it. At the same time, as the city grows, you will start to notice certain areas getting busier, especially during peak times. It's not overwhelming, but it's also not the sleepy traffic situation it might have been 15 years ago. So it's one of those things where you appreciate how manageable it is now, but you'll also recognize the growth is bringing change with it. And let's talk about something that I think really matters, and that's the overall feel of the community. Greensboro has a strong sense of identity. It's diverse, it's grounded, and there's a cultural depth that you just don't always see highlighted when people talk about moving to North Carolina. There's history here, there's pride here, and there's a level of connection that makes it easier to settle in and make you feel like you belong. Now when it comes to housing, Greensboro gives you options, which is another major plus. You're not boxed into one type of living. If you like the established neighborhoods with character, you've got that. If you prefer the newer construction with modern layouts, you've got that too. Townhomes, single family homes, condos, it really depends on what fits your lifestyle. The challenge though, is that the more desirable areas can get competitive. So when you see something good that hits the market, it doesn't always mean that it'll sit there waiting. You've got to be prepared and you've got to move with intention. That's just the reality of a growing market. And let me shift gears for a second, because if you've been watching this far, you're clearly serious about understanding what life here will be like for you. And I want to make sure that you don't get caught off guard by something that people don't always talk about up front. Let's talk about the weather. On paper, Greensboro sounds great. You get all 4 seasons here, which is what a lot of people love. The fall is beautiful, the spring feels refreshing, and the winters are generally mild compared to the northern states. But then, summer shows up, and it brings humidity with it. Not just a little bit, real humidity. The kind that hits you as soon as you step outside and makes you question how long you actually want to be out there. And then in the spring, you've got pollen. If you've never experienced North Carolina pollen before, just know that it's not something that you ignore. It's something that you prepare for. Again, not a deal breaker, but definitely a part of the lifestyle. Now, another thing to think about is entertainment and overall energy. Greensboro has things to do. There are restaurants, local events, parks, and a growing downtown scene that continues to improve. But if you're someone who thrives on constant motion, high energy, and non-stop nightlife, this might be a little too calm for you. That's really where knowing yourself comes into play. Some people move here and absolutely love the balance. Others come in expecting one thing and realize they miss the intensity of a bigger city. Neither is right or wrong. It's just about alignment. Now here's something else that deserves a real conversation, and that's the job market. Greensboro has solid industries: healthcare, education, logistics, manufacturing, but it's not a major powerhouse like some of the larger metro areas. So depending on your career, you might find the best opportunities are remote or tied to nearby cities. The upside is that Greensboro works really well for people who have flexibility in how they earn their income. The cost of living, combined with remote work, can create a comfortable lifestyle. But if you're expecting a huge booming job market in every single industry, that's something that you'll want to evaluate more closely. And let me bring this all together, because at the end of the day, Greensboro is one of those places that offer a certain kind of lifestyle that a lot of people are searching for right now. It's not trying to be the biggest city. It's not trying to compete with places that never slow down. What it does offer is balance, space, opportunity, and a chance to build something without feeling overwhelmed in the process. But, and this is important, it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of place. Some people are going to move here and feel like they found exactly what they needed. Others are going to realize that they need a little more speed, a little more noise, and a little more action. And the goal is to figure out that before you actually make a move, not after. So if you're sitting there thinking, this actually sounds like it can work for me, and let's have a real conversation about it. Not just the general stuff, but your situation, your goals, and what you're looking for in a home and in a community. Reach out, call me, text me, send me a message. I'm here to help you navigate through all of this, and I want to make sure that you're making a decision that truly fits your lifestyle. And if this video helped you out, even a little bit, then tap that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Because I'm gonna keep showing up with content that helps people just like you become confident, educated homeowners. I've got more deep dives coming, whether you're buying, selling, or just learning. And make sure you watch this video, as it will help you with your home search. And when you're ready to make that move, just remember, Keon has the keys. I'll see you in the next one.